I would like us to start a new season or a new series where we do a dive deep. And we are starting with Jobtech Alliance most recent report on digital work sector scan. Where does Africa fit in all these issues that are happening with all this demand and job creation and technology advancement with reports like World Economic Forum projecting that more than 67% of the world's young people will be based in Africa by 2030. But what about you as a founder? Is there an opportunity? Is there a chance for you to tap into this? Hello, good people. Welcome back again to Jobtech Voices. This is your host, Samson. And as usual, this is where we talk about digital work, digital economy, digital freelancing. We share people's experiences. We learn every day. We hear about experiences freelancers have had, life stories from mentors, people who have been in the gig economy for a long time. And overall, we discuss the future of work in Africa and what is it all about. And so today, I would like us to talk about something quite interesting. The reason why I want us to have this conversation is because I would like us to look at what is going on around us. But more importantly, we can also look at the different studies that have been done because we have organizations that are working every day to look at different studies and different and analyzing different data to understand how are jobs around us changing. How do you need to position yourself? Where do we have opportunities? And something like AI, how is AI changing the way we work, the way we access jobs, the way people do business, the way startups operate, the way companies hire? And today, I would like us to start a new season or a new series where we do a dive deep. And we are starting with Jobtech Alliance most recent report on digital work sector scan. Jobtech Alliance is an interesting and good organization that looks into job tech ecosystem and most importantly also working with creators and startups and organization in that sector. And their 2025 digital work sector scan looks into what exactly is digital work. And the digital work can be split into two major categories. We have the digital freelancing and gig economy, which has been around for a long time and many people know about it, but it has grown exponentially over the last 4 years. And the digital freelancing and digital economy, the gig economy, it has several things. It carries many professions from web developers to content creators to graphic designers, admin support services such as transcription, translation, virtual assistants. So that's the digital freelance ecosystem that is hosted on platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, freelancer.com, Guru, Appen. And even nowadays, you have AI training with data annotation, machine learning projects, video captioning, and video annotation. All those are bundled together in the digital freelance sector. But there is another sector that is thriving, and it's good for you to understand that the digital work and economy does not just um, end at digital freelancing. There is also the global business process outsourcing sector. This is a very huge sector. Kenya is picking up over the last 5 years. We've done a lot of work around that. And this is where organizations are outsourcing services to you. This is something I mentioned in my earlier episodes when I was categorizing different sectors. But this report is quite important. It's quite important because it also looks at, when you talk about business process outsourcing, and we're looking at managed services such as customer service, web development, and other services like influencer services, what does it entail? So this is what we are starting with, the major categories. But also, when you look at Jobtech Alliance report, it looks at also digital trading platforms being part of the digital work. We are looking at cryptocurrency, digital goods, e-commerce, which now people are doing affiliate marketing. You do affiliate marketing and you're able to earn a living. NFTs have been quite a big deal over the last few years, and that also, it's one part that is also creating jobs for young people in the digital work ecosystem. This report also looks into, now that we know those categories, now that we know the digital work and the digital ecosystem is made up of the global business services and the freelance gig work platforms, and allow me to dive a bit deeper into the global business services, because many people do not understand how this works. When you look at major companies and organizations in the country like CCI, Teleperformance, Solvo, Technobrain. These are organizations that get big projects from foreign clients and they work with you to deliver. So if you're looking to get into the digital ecosystem and digital work service, you do not only need to deliver that work as an individual, but you can also tap into the big companies in Europe, in Australia, in the US, and deliver them a package uh, in medium and large scale model where you're not just doing one simple task, but you have a huge team that is able to deliver that work, and it's a bigger contract that will last maybe a few months or several years. The Jobtech Alliance sector scan also looks at a number of things, and one of the questions they ask is this Africa's time to shine now that all these organizations, all these forms of work are coming up? And the question that I'm also asking is, where does Africa fit in all these issues that are happening with all this demand and job creation and technology advancement, with reports like World Economic Forum projecting that more than 67% of the world's young people will be based in Africa by 2030, then is this an opportunity for a young person? And there are many questions that will come from that, like what should young people do? What should institutions that are supposed to support young people into digital work or into employment supposed to do? What should business people do about this? What should entrepreneurs and founders who are very much interested in building businesses do about this information? Because we have business process outsourcing companies that are built, that were founded and built here in Kenya. Yes, we know CCI are very huge companies hiring thousands of people. We know Athena are huge companies that are hiring many people. But what about you as a founder? Is there an opportunity? Is there a chance for you to tap into this? And with population aging in other countries, in Europe and other places, it means that our workforce, um, our talent, our people have a chance to, even, I understand there are those people that will tap into manufacturing, but also we have to look for skilled labor. It means we have labor, we have young people, but we need it to be skilled to compete with the world and provide quality services. And so as a founder, you can be part of this. And as we dive into this report, you look at other things. And the answer that Jobtech Alliance gives is that there is favorable demographics and the labor poor growth. That is what I was talking about, that Africa has a very large pool of young people. And by 2045, we'll have even bigger pool that can provide these services to other countries. But also we are looking at cost efficiency with talent pool and emerging trends. We've seen many companies coming up and many organizations coming up to step into the skilling and provision of talent in Africa. We've seen organizations like Andela who came in to look for coders and heavy tech talent in Africa, and selling that talent or connecting that talent with remote opportunities. The other advantage is looking at there's demand for digital transformation. And so um, with all this transformation, organizations are moving into AI and AI agents, automating a lot of manual and repetitive tasks that were there before. It means they're also looking for people to support them in implementing those systems, managing them, and servicing them. And I know this is the question of whether AI is taking our jobs or not, and to what extent and how much of that. But when you look at digital transformation, we're also looking at the Internet of Things is becoming mainstream, where people want to live in an interconnected ecosystem where Internet of Things supports different functions and different aspects of your living to be interconnected, where your microwave is connected to your fridge, and your fridge is connected to your phone, and your phone connects to your home camera and connects to your TV, among other things. But this Internet of Things is not just it's not just for homes. It's also for companies, organizations, manufacturing sector, logistics and supply chain sectors, where they also want that interconnection. The other part is also multilingual capabilities. We in Africa we are very multilingual, and that brings a lot of diversity. With diversity comes a lot of capabilities. You have people in Africa who can speak English. You have people in Africa who can speak French, who can speak Portuguese in the same continent. And I understand that even within specific countries, now you have the tribes who speak different languages. This comes out as a strength to deliver services, to countries outside Africa that are looking for French speakers, that are looking for Portuguese speakers. But also, we look at Africa um, having affordable services. And I know this can work as a negative effect or a positive effect, but when you compare it with developed countries, our services are slightly cheaper. That does not mean that you shouldn't be paid according to your worth, but we have an environment that can provide affordable services. But also, that the other part is that there is room to build systems and policies. There is room to build ethical outsourcing services within the continent, and that is where um, labor organizations come in. I understand we have an organization like the Kenya Gig Workers Association. So when organizations come in and push for decent work environment, when organization come in and push for living wage, and not just a living wage, it's a decent wage, it's still early enough for governments and institutions and organizations and policymakers to come in and build policies and provide room for serious reforms and serious direction towards that space. Because when you look at China and how China became, a superpower, it's through tapping into manufacturing. But it's not just manufacturing, but also outsourcing, outsourced manufacturing. When China was able to manufacture goods from other countries in their land at an affordable rate, then this created employment for their people. But also, we have an unsaturated market. It's not a good thing that we do not have very huge tech companies in Africa, but also it's a room for us to build that ecosystem, to tap into that market and see how that works. The other question we ask ourselves is, with all this happening, with all these opportunities, then what is the role of AI in this ecosystem? Because we can't ignore the fact that AI has come and it has affected a lot of things around how we work and how our jobs looking like. And yes, there are many models that are coming up every day. Actually, we can't keep up with the different AI models that are coming up and AI agents. And As we stand today, we are looking at DeepSeek. You have ChatGPT 4 and 5, and AI has replaced. AI has taken over some of the most repetitive tasks by automating them, but also it has augmented and supported people to provide quality work in a number of ways. For example, if you're still a virtual assistant, it means you're able to quickly manage things like calendar using AI tools. But are there job opportunities? Do we still need AI? Do we still need people when working on digital work? And is there a human part that is required? And yes, when Jobtech Alliance was building this report, they also looked at the human AI collaboration model where there is a human, which is you with your skills, the soft skills that you have, reasoning and understanding the nuances that come in with different sectors and different human interaction, but also supporting in making sure there is relevance and proper output for different jobs and different type of content. And so the ultimate the ultimate feedback on this is understanding that yes, there are jobs that have been displaced, but also there are jobs that have been created. There are new jobs around AI learning and machine learning, but also those who manage to keep up with the digital work are those who are able to learn. You upskill and understand how your job relates to different AI models and different automation and augmentation type of work. And even when you look at AI agents, they are advanced systems that autonomously are able to complete different tasks, but there is need for human interaction for proper and specialized judgment. There is need for human interaction to bring the cultural context and the nuances that come up when it comes to different cultures. Nowadays, we are looking at also project management jobs increasing significantly. We are looking at different jobs around data analysis. As much as there is AI, then you need the basics of data analysis so that you can be able to work with an AI, so that you can be able to check work being delivered by an AI or even speed up the data analysis aspect. But um, when it comes to looking into that data and deriving insight and thinking about how that information can be implemented in the local or in your local context or in your environment, then there is need for a human intervention or human aspect to be there. The other part that we are looking at in this report is also looking at the different subsectors that have huge growth. That is one, staff augmentation. And this is where we have platforms that are coming in to help build talent and support that talent to tap into the different ecosystems or also different demand in different regions. So, for example, in Kenya, we have an organization like Tana that is coming in to support organizations and companies outside the country to look for people in the deep tech sector, like programming, coding, web development, software development, mobile application, and others. And this demand is increasing because there is demand for enhanced technology for different processes in different organizations. I also mentioned about Andela, who are very much into um, staff support and mostly in deep tech. We have organizations like Tunga and Decagon, which are still here to look for different talents and apply that into different markets. But also for non-tech augmentation and non-tech staff, we are looking at organizations like Hodi, who are very much into recruiting and looking for customer service. We have Rafiki, we have Talent Africa, and Talent Safari. All these are organizations that have come up to help the developed countries and other countries that have a shortage of talent to manage and get talent from Africa. That means there is an opportunity. for you in case you want to build a talent provision pipeline, or for someone who is looking at tapping into the remote ecosystem or the remote space in terms of work. On the business, global sourcing services, but then also we have the outsourcing that happens here in the country. The jobs and the services come from abroad and they come in the country, and then you do them from here. And this is where now so many organizations come in here, and they're quite a number. We have Hodi, so they do that. We have Hugo here in Kenya. We have Adina. We have Teleperformance. We have others that are handling data labeling like Africa AI, Avala, Remotely, and many other organizations. This works in three ways. It means you as a young person, you can start looking for those organizations to check how you can get opportunity. But also number two, you as an entrepreneur, you can see there's an opportunity there. If you are able to build a proper system to provide quality talent and deliver work, then there's business there. And number three, it means for you as a non-profit organization, as a social organization, as a policymaker, government, then there is need to think about young people in this context, because a lot of them will be getting into this. The other question also we'll think about is then what are some of these jobs that can be provided with this category? And Jobtech looks at the digital taxonomy. I've mentioned with global business services, there is staff recruitment, there is a traditional outsourcing that is happening within, but also there is the KPO outsourcing. And we have many organizations that are handling this. And when we look at this, we are looking at entities that are offering specialized outsourced talent with deep knowledge and understanding. It's still talent, but it's also very much specialized. Then for the digital freelance and gig economy, then it still has its own original format where we have horizontal freelance marketplaces. And these are marketplaces that offer services and talent for virtual assistants, creative gig work, technical gig works. But then we have verticalized freelancing. This is very complex, and it's looking at language learning, specialization, mentorship, and online tutoring. But then now we have the gig work. The gig work, it's mostly leaning towards AI microtask and AI training, surveys, distributed surveys, and captioning, and these other type of microtasks. Then we ask ourselves, then what is it that will help fuel this type of industry to benefit young people in Kenya? And we're talking about ecosystem tools. Tools are very essential, and it means you as a young person, you need access to tools. You can't deliver work online when you do not have a computer or internet. You can't deliver that when you don't have a conducive environment. I know there are many systems that are out there, but also it's for you to understand. You need to equip yourself. If you are a parent, it's for you to understand that where the world is going into, unless your child is doing other manual and traditional jobs, if they are going into the digital work, then these systems and these tools are a must. And even when you look at the simple gig jobs like ride hailing, like micro enterprises through e-commerce, someone still needs an online presence. Someone still needs a smartphone, a good camera to be able to tap into this. So to finalize, or rather to conclude this report, is that there are many organizations, there are many platforms, and when you also look at the digital freelance platforms, there are so many of them that are out there. I mentioned when you look at microtasks, we have Appen, we have Toloka, we have Clickworker, we have Lego, Avala, and many others. When you have the more traditional ones that have been around for some time, then we also have quite a good list. The global ones that have been there, but also the others that have come up most recently in the in Africa, and we have Kazi Connect, we have Rafiki, we have Talent QL, we have Flip, TerraWork, Bridge, TopTal, Propel, all these, and even Talentum and Grow. All these are platforms and marketplaces for freelancers. In general, and this is a very interesting point, is that women are also taking up this type of jobs a lot, and we're looking at 45% increase in number of job tech users among women, and 24% more on average who are able to earn, and with a huge retention. So international platform designed for women are also taking shape and gaining traction. To conclude, this is that this information is important, and these are publications and reports that are important in shaping the way we interact with the environment around us, the way we plan for the future. Because I know some of these reports are published and there's no one to read them and no one to action them, or rather take them seriously. So this has been great. And in the subsequent episodes, we'll be looking at, every 2 weeks, we'll be looking at different reports, different analyses, and diving deep into them and seeing what do they mean? How do we plan for the future, and what can we get out of that? I will also be coming in with different analysts and different individuals in this ecosystem to discuss about these different aspects. If you are out there and you'd like to talk about future of work, digital economy, innovation in the job tech ecosystem, feel free to reach out to me and we can have this conversation and enlighten more people. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that we can continue growing this community. Until next time, bye bye.